Just you lot to make it through the day, but I burn my time and watch it fade away. The sky turns up, the light just goes opaque. A garden grows in time and not the other.
Holy smokes, guys, we are finally ripping and tearing into episode 11. Welcome to Afternoon Glory, or welcome back. My name is Josh Glore. I wanted this to come out May 18th, Saturday, May 18th. I don't think it's going to fucking make it. We'll be lucky if it comes out Monday, but we'll see. We'll see. Sunday, maybe. I do have the 18th off, but I really don't want to spend it in front of a computer screen. I've been starting a new job, and boy, have they been throwing me around, throwing me around like a rag doll, and really taking advantage to this guy. Probably can't say no yet. Can't fault them. They're right. They're a little right. I need the money anyways. So I guess it all works out. It just sucks that I can't do, podcasting and, open mics, but we'll get back to it. And thank you for being patient with me. Sorry, the drops haven't been consistent, and I really gotten bad about that. You know, in the olden days, it used to be I wouldn't drop and I'd just say, fuck it, I'm going to go on a sabbatical and really get lazy and usually indulge in a lot of drinking. But, you know, I'm really at a point where I'm just like, whenever I have time, we'll do this, and I think that's okay. Breaking all the rules of a successful algorithm, but that's fine with me. Yeah, I did start a new job. I won't bleep the old place now that I don't work there anymore. It would have been funny if I never bleeped it. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, the working part-time at an Olive Garden is not sufficient enough to make a living, surviving wage here in Chi-Town. So learned that lesson rather the hard way, but a lesson that was learned. And, you know, didn't move out here with Rockefeller money, but I certainly moved out with a grip of change, and I literally watched it all exhaust itself. So now I'm back to, I'm in survival mode, folks, minus that I am trying to podcast here and there. So, you know, I have 5 years experience at a fucking Forbes property as far as hotels are concerned. If there's anything I'm good at, it's that. You know, maybe comedy and making people laugh, but as far as doing it via podcast or via stand-up comedy, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but that's fine. I got a full-time job at this hotel, and they've been just, really working me, and that's fine. I'm in, like I said, survival mode. I need money. I don't know what my address is going to be 2 months from now. Literally have no clue what zip code I'll be living in. I am open to cash bribes. No, I'm open to full-time work, and it's probably the best. I only have 2 others to compare it to, but it's probably the best tip wage I've ever been paid. So hopefully the paychecks will mean something here and there, and we'll have some answers. I see no light at the end of the tunnel. That's fine, but I certainly do feel, in the midst of all the shit that I'm going through, and my head's a little underwater, I don't know, I've been really, really, really patient, and I've never been like that, ever. Like, I still am, my anxiety's cooking a little bit, and I'm fucking just as worried as I've been in most, but as far as like just showing the fucking stress and really and letting others aware, like visibly seeing me stressed out, has been very uncharacteristic like. So that's interesting. Perhaps it's the sobriety, perhaps it's a breakup. I don't know. It's not important. I guess it is important. It's a self-discovery. It's a fucking asterisk. Is that how you say it? Asterisk. It's it's an asterisk. It certainly is. But yeah. So basically no consistent uploads probably until I get my shit figured out. Sorry. I am in mostly survival mode. And just so if anybody's curious, they say, if anybody's like thinking of dabbling with it, I don't want to be a fucking preacher or somebody preaching this, but when you quit drinking, and I learned this rather quickly too, before I break up, before I watch my money run out before my own eyes, when you quit drinking, your life doesn't fucking magically get better. You just learn to fucking navigate life and figure shit out essentially, and learn to take it all on the chin. Mostly like what I have been doing. And yeah, that first stint of not drinking, 37 days. I was like, oh, these jokes are gonna be fucking just cranking themselves out, and I was like, oh, I have to do the work. So they don't tell you that. Maybe they do. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the fuck. That'd be funny if they mentioned that at intervention. They're like, oh, by the way, it's dealing with all that with no quote unquote escape. Yeah, I'm too broke. If I was still drinking, I'd be, oh my God, I'm in the negatives probably. I don't have very much money to my name right now, and I haven't drank in 67, 68 days. So that's really bad. So anyways, enough of the depressing stuff. Sorry to fucking talk about myself, but if there is a explanation needed, which I don't think it has to be needed. I don't think anyone's on the edge of their seats. That's what it was. Assuming this came out on Monday, Sunday, or if a miracle happened and I really did get it out on Saturday, May 18th, we are in the middle of we're right at the peak, ladies and gentlemen. If this is Saturday, May 18th, we are at the peak of it, or nearing the peak. But if it's post Saturday, then I hope everybody enjoyed Colorado Springs folk. I hope that everybody enjoyed the second annual Manitou Springs Comedy Festival. And what's neat about that, other than the fact they have achieved the milestone and it's called second annual, and last year was just as impressive, if not maybe just a little less impressive, but I don't know, I'd still rank it as more impressive. That was the groundwork. It was the first ever Manitou Springs Comedy Festival. Anybody a part of that, anybody that went to that, anybody that helped put it together and start the first one and fucking keep it going to finally get the word annual in front of it, that's amazing. And truly, I'd pat yourself on the back. And you know, even before a Manitou Springs Comedy Festival, I realized Colorado, especially these days, I don't do it, but I know people who do. With social media, like, you don't need a bi-coastal city, and or you don't need to move to a bigger city like Chicago or Austin. You don't need to do that, especially in this day and age. If you live in a large enough city, and I'm mainly talking about Denver, you can become I don't know if the chances are, I imagine, slimmer of you. Maybe if the dream is to have a Netflix special, probably a little slimmer, but you can become a good comedian in Colorado. And when last year, when the first ever Manitou Springs Comedy Festival came up, I was like, wow, this is insane. It really shows that 60 miles south of Denver, which is already a substantial comedy city as far as viewing it and doing it, is just 60 miles south. There's a fucking community down here, and that is truly amazing, and it's astonishing, and it's fucking overwhelming because there's so much talent in Colorado Springs. I can't name too many people off the top of my head because it's been a long time, only not that long, like a year. You got Mike Hammock, and that's people who know me maybe thought I said they know my best friend. One of my best friends' name is Mike Hammond, but I'm talking about Mike Hammock as in like I lay on the hammock in the park because I'm a left-wing extremist who eats a bunch of granola, and I have a lot of time on my hands. So Mike Hammock, very funny. I think he's actually one of the headliners at the Manitou Springs Comedy Festival. You got David Gamble, Callan Reese, Lusso, Corey Deck. I don't even know if she's never been at an open mic that I was at. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. JJ Alexander, which I don't even know if that motherfucker lives in fucking Colorado Springs or Denver, but I saw him at both, and I often see him fucking on Comedy Works stage, so that's fucking awesome. So what I'm saying is, Marcus Benjamin, that was probably my favorite performance that I've seen. Let me see if I can pull. There's another guy that I'm definitely missing. I know Trenton Cotton moved out of Colorado Springs, but you had him. And so what I'm saying is, it's amazing. Johnny Breastfein, he was really good. So like what I'm saying is, you have fucking people and you have talent. Just as I guess Corey Deck was at one of my open mics that I went to. I'm looking at it. She went on 11. Oh, you got Joe Bruno, Chris Delgado. I don't know if he's still kicking around. So you got fucking talent. Maria Federhaft, she was funny. She had a good cold sore joke that I really liked. Joe Cruz. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, there's talent 60 miles away from a very well-known, thriving city. And so when Manitou Springs Comedy, the first ever Manitou Springs Comedy Festival announced itself, I was like, wow, this shows community. I was like, it means there is something. It means not just Denver. It means Colorado is a state where you can indeed become good at comedy. And you can exercise that talent and add to your arsenal, and truly amazing. And then, so that's how I felt the first ever Manitou Springs Comedy Festival. And then I see that they do a second annual one. And I'm like, okay, good. It wasn't a one and done. They are really doing this, and it reestablishes everything I just said. And then I look at the lineup, and I'm rating Mike Hammock's on there. And the longer down the list I go, the more I start to fear the lineup is just an open mic list that wasn't cut for time. But I certainly hope they got more than 2.5 minutes. No, yeah. What the fuck? No, I'm kidding. Super stoked to see a bunch of people I was on open mics with. I've never one of my oldest friends in Colorado, Peter Biolchini. He's at the New Faces section of the Manitou Springs Comedy Festival. That's a big pat on the back. Congratulations, Peter. That's amazing. I think I saw Guy's name on there. I don't know if Guy knows who the fuck I am. But yeah, Peter, that's just fucking impressive. He found a community. He's really fucking invested in the community. I can tell by his Snapchat, or not Snap. Well, maybe Snapchats too, but he logged back into Instagram just to fucking help spread word and show. You can just see the community through his posts, is what I'm saying. So congratulations, Peter. Very proud of you. And I say this looking directly at the camera. I don't know if you're chiming into the episode via audio. You can still hit me up to talk shit. We don't have to talk about comedy, Peter. It is a fucking pet peeve of mine, and I do not jam well. I do not have very many comic friends for this reason. I don't need anybody trying to make anything out of something I said. I truly am just curious when the last time someone has had a Mountain Dew and that becomes a joke, and then you don't answer my burning curiosity. Not Peter, this isn't to you, but you don't gotta bounce jokes off me. We're boys. We live together. We've talked about plenty, and I'm very receptive to that more than I am. I mean, if it's like a fucking make or break joke, you hit me up any time of the day, and I'll fucking. You can bounce it off on me all day long. But if it's just a fucking thought, come on, man. And it's two-way street. Got to get better myself. So, what was I saying about that? Damn, we're already 20 minutes in. Haven't even done anything. But kudos. If anyone supported the Manitou Springs Comedy Festival, that's fucking sick. That's fucking sick that it's something. And I'm sure a lot of risks were taken and a lot of money and a lot of time. And so if anybody gave their own time to the comics, that's sick. That's fucking dope. I don't say dope that much. I guess I'll try to do some headlines. These are probably outdated. These were written a week ago, so it's probably not that fucking... By the time this comes out, the headlines are going to be like a week and a half old. I mean, I can try off the dome. I am not good at that, though, guys. That's... you say you want to be a comedian? Here's one. Well, actually, I'll try a recent one. Florida teen says she was denied entry to prom for wearing a suit. And it wasn't anything like discrimination. They were just like fucking high school prom's no place for a fucking Ellen DeGeneres is what the fucking... That's what that was all about. Despite being a completely different... The gal looks I don't know if this is offensive or not. I don't mean it to be. Isn't that the fucking dream? I don't know if this is offensive or not. I don't mean to say it, but I will. N-word. No, but this, I don't know if this is offensive or not, but it looks like she may be of the Asian persuasion. I think maybe that's a little racy. So please forgive me. Ignorance is bliss. And some entertainment news via The Guardian that's quoted... At the start, you get molested, and by 45, you're too old to work. The secret misery of women working in TV, which was discovered in fucking an old fucking diary entry from Betty White. Boy, did she have a fucking amazing third and second act. No, I mean, is that a secret? I feel like that is fucking knowledge. Like, that is fucking acknowledged and is fucking... horrible, and it needs to fucking stop. And I think at one point they were ramping up to fucking stop it, but it needs to be stopped. But is it a fucking secret misery? I don't know. I'm really interested in semantics, and those are the only two I could fucking come up with on the spot. As far as last week was concerned, or almost a week and a half ago, 800 protesters attempt to storm Germany Tesla factory, which is, not a lot of people know this, but 800 protesters is about, give or take, about 188 times smaller when they stormed Poland, simply because Adolf Hitler, he just wanted Germans to live there. Which you don't ever want to give Hitler the benefit of the doubt, but it's hard being a country the size of Montana. So you're like, I get it. I'll invade a country just so Germans can live there and start a fucking another world war. That's what it takes. If that's what it takes, another world war and a fucking genocide, we gotta give these Germans some space. Barron Trump declines to serve as a Republican National Convention delegate. Oh wait, correction. Mommy declines Barron Trump to serve as delegate at at the fucking Republican DNC. What's that called? I don't fucking know. I'm bad at this. I hate politics. Why am I doing them? She says his political debut will have to wait. And when attesting this, I don't know if you know this, but Barron said, but mother, Barron is such a solid, waspy name. And she wagged her fucking weird fingers at him and said, well, honey, not until your father restores America for the second time. I'm sorry, guys. Did I mention I was told to do these fucking things? Teens kicked out of elite Catholic school for blackface awarded $1 million by jury after... Oh, shit. Teens kicked out of an elite Catholic school for blackface awarded $1 million by jury after proving it was just an acne mask. Now, I'm actually vigilantly aware of what masks they're talking about, as I use the same one whenever I'm in a pinch and I'm running late to sketch comedy night with the clan. I gotta fucking stop at a Walgreens. That's amazing. They get 1 million and they get to do blackface, which is be fucking just an acne mask these days. Fuck. That's they were kicked out of Catholic school, and like, despite it, like, that they got that 1 million by accident. Like, that was not in the they knew what they were doing, and it's all about context. Completely all about context. Like, for example, I can either help my Uncle Jack off a horse, or I can fucking help my Uncle Jack off a horse, you know? It's fucking, they knew they were ruffling feathers, but they get $1 million. And I don't, the phrasing of that headline, awarded $1 million by jury. I didn't even know how that comes up, if it's like a price in the fucking case, and like, they're like saying that they need to be compensated with that, or if the fucking jurors just empty their pockets. I don't know. But honestly, also, you should probably consider it the greatest honor that you don't have to go to elite Catholic school. I would consider it probably the greatest honor that you don't have to go to elite Catholic school. But then again, this could maybe be a bigot's biggest regret. Because that fucking blackface, like, that's modern day. That's fucked. Get fucked, you fucking teens. Dude, I'm so fucking tired of, I'm literally, like, walking in, hospitality is what I'm good at, so I that's easy on the clock. But it often translates in real life, and if I can go into Mariano's, which, if you're Colorado folk, that's just the fucking Chicago King Supers, and there's a revolving door, and I'm going in, and there's space, and this girl's like waiting. As a logical person, this girl's waiting for me to make one full, like, go in and push the door, but there's space, so I'm waiting, and it's becoming a dance. And then I push it just a little bit, and then it clips her backpack as she's finally inviting herself fully into the revolving door. And she looks so fucking annoyed. And, maybe it was definitely my fault. I should have just went through. But it was that fucking consideration. I have many of that. Like, I do that so much throughout a day. And I'm like looking right next to her as we're pushing the door, and she just looks so fucking pissed and annoyed, and like, I'm not gonna say it broke me, but it fucking, like, really rattled me, and I could feel my, like, fucking adrenaline. Like, I just wanted to be like, then fuck off, you fucking bitch. Like, I'm so fucking tired of being so fucking goddamn considerate, and, like, I literally feel like I'm on the fucking verge of a villain origin story here. This fucking those kids, those teens, knew they were being inappropriate, and they fucking get $1 million when they already come from nice wealth of from family who probably are gonna put it in, I don't know what a trust fund is, but maybe put it in a trust fund, or maybe they have the greatest summers of their life. I don't know how frugal the spending on that's gonna be, and how soon and how prompt or anything, but it's fucking shit like that. They knew what they were doing. This is all I can say about that. Jesus Christ, 30 minutes in, I haven't even started the scenario, guys. As far as the Kendrick Drake beef, I don't know. I guess fucking Drake lost, but he was the last one to say something, but apparently Kendrick Lamar has songs about him. That's fucking insane. If you want to know who I was rooting for Kendrick. Although I just didn't like the flow that he delivered. I know he gave real methodical, thought out, more poetic lyrics, and I can appreciate that despite the flow. But Drake, he's like fucking, just goes to show he's fucking versatile. He was like going hard, maybe. I don't know. Shit, guys, I am going way too long in this episode, so maybe I was gonna bring a gripe of the week back, but we'll see. I don't know. I always usually fly through the scenarios. Guys, I've been trying to do this episode for like 2 months, and by no means am I trying to make it perfect. I just don't know what the fuck to say. But I figured this week's scenario, why not do a ideal prevention scenario? And, there's tons of them out there, but I'm going to narrow it down to 3. So I would have to say, I'll rattle off the 3 and I'll go in depth. Let me wet my whistle first. So in my opinion, the most, at least just general ideal that I think can be translated is probably 3 of my, like, I'm going to chime into group discussion. I'm going to bring these 3 to the table, and they're probably generally agreed on or can be and can see weight to the argument. So I could rattle, with my anxiety, I could rattle off too many ideal prevention scenarios, but I got it down to 3. 9/11, which, yeah, that one's pretty good. School and mass shootings, which is probably like Gen Z and millennials ideal prevention scenario, and then 9/11 was the Gen X and boomers, maybe, or whatever the one before Gen X was. I don't know, and no kids. But I want to highlight the school shootings and mass shootings, like to prevent it. I would say my argument to limit it, that's not like, I don't know. I think custodians need to conceal carry. I feel like the Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana music video would have looked a lot different if that janitor had a fucking loaded weapon. That's what I think. And you're like fucking my first thought is, how does a fucking janitor conceal carry if he's wearing a jumpsuit? But then you realize that's like in movies and shit, and it's fucking every janitor I've ever seen growing up at schools has never fucking worn a jumpsuit. There was one in high school. The closest that I've gotten to a jumpsuit was a fucking fisherman's vest. That was interesting. That came in handy. That was a good fucking life hack. Pete was his name. And, he could definitely conceal carry in that. No, I'm kidding, and I was also kidding about 9/11. I think that's more of a general consensus, like ideal prevention scenario, like but it's less tailored to my own needs and wants. So my top 3 are totally tailored to me. Like, I would like to see where this country would stand if the World Trade Center was still hanging around. Because it's weird. Obviously, fucking, it caused it. I don't want to say enforced, but it brought out, when life gives you lemons kind of thing. It fucking really brought out a lot of patriotism for a while, and there was still concerns of war and shit and foreign policy, and that's fine. But it did at first bring out, not that I remember it, but bring out a lot of patriotism. And then now it doesn't even matter because it's fucking so split and divided. So it's like, where the fuck would that have happened sooner if the World Trade Center was hanging around? I don't know. And also, not many people know this, but when both towers were officially hit, fucking, like, not only like did it become 9/11, but when both towers were officially hit, World Trade fucking stopped. I don't think that's good. World Trade stopped when both towers were officially hit. And I'm not going to pretend. I've never been the guy to pretend like I know all about things like world trading. but I do think I can grasp the idea that world trade shouldn't just be stopped abruptly, how abruptly it was. And from my understanding, when only one tower was hit before before Tower 2, I guess, was hit, and half of the world trade was being destroyed, they could still rig something together. Like, I imagine there was a meeting in Tower 2 as they're watching Tower 1 on fire, just confused why the fuck that happened, and not knowing that Tower 2 was going to be hit. I imagine there was some kind of enforcement and reassurance saying, from like, the top execs of World Trade. But I imagine the talk went something like, hey, don't worry, traders at the center of the World Trade. Again, each tower has a copy of what the other tower is trading. Like, for Christ's sakes, we're the center of world trade. We're proactive, and we're not food for the sharks, because we are the sharks. We've thought about this from every angle, and then, god damn it, did they miss the angle where a 767 plane is coming directly at them. That's the one angle that was probably missed in the pep talk. I'm not trying to make light of 9/11. That's not what I'm fucking trying to do. Boy, has United Airlines just they don't really, like, they're not only fucking up today, they're fucking up on a national global fucking stage, and fucking they fucked up on that day. That'd be the first thing I'd say to United if they fucking just treated me like dog shit. I'd be like, didn't you fucking let hijackers fucking fly a plane into a fucking building? So yes, 9/11's obviously bad, but it's not a big ticket item on my prevention scenario as far as idealism is concerned. I would say my top 3 ideal prevention scenarios. It was no kids, but I'm preventing that. So kids, lack of awareness is a big one, and then my cat turning into a small bag of ashes, or just like my cat. I lose my cat in any capacity. I would say those are my top 3. And like I said, I could rattle off 25 more due to my crippling anxiety and irrational thinking and fears. I boiled it down to 3 that may or may not be reasonable and have weight to the argument. That's fine. Whatever. We're rocking and rolling. So yeah, preventing kids is very, very ideal to me, and I don't feel one way or another about them. I don't judge people my age, people younger than me, who have had kids or having kids. As a matter of fact, I mentioned him earlier, Mike Hammond. I literally feel like I watched him. Like, he was already a pretty good man, but I feel like I literally watched him turn into a man and watched him grow. It's truly amazing. And, I bet a few people out there are like, damn, I wish Josh could truly grow as a person, whether it be fatherhood or, some gal to straighten him up. But and he stops fucking reading word for word a horrible, and I don't mean horrible as in that's edgy. I mean horrible as in that was a dog shit World Trade bit you did. And, and I'm sure that would happen. But you see, preventing kids, to me, is very ideal, because I have these things called far-fetched dreams, and like very far-fetched. I'll be lucky if I can get to the level. I said, Colorado's a place where you can get good at comedy. You might not be a full-time comic by any means. I hope so. I'm always rooting for that. And usually, I feel like talent can get recognized really easy in Denver. If you have it, I'll be lucky if I get to that. I'm a good comic and I'm not paid, and it's unpaid work and shit. But no. It doesn't help that I have far-fetched dreams and I'm just too selfish, newly single these days, or maybe I'm just single. It's been a couple months now. Both relationships I realized not both. I was in another long-term relationship in like half of high school, going half into college. I just reflecting on them, very selfish in ways. So I think the last relationship I was very selfish with time without going too in depth of everything. So yeah, so that doesn't help that I'm back in the dating pool, whether it be I need to work on me being selfish or me like, oh, that's just another fucking chance for you to really fuck up and have a kid, which you guys got to remind me. You don't got to remind me. I got it on the books sometime. But yeah, that'll be a scenario down the road. I get back into the dating pool. But you know what's wonderful is I've actually this is going to sound fucked up. You know what's wonderful about it is I've actually been using condoms for the most part. For the most part. There was one exception, and I'm too trusting of a guy. So I need to just move on and realize there's only one exception. Everything checked out and was fine, and I still trust that nothing's going to be crazy the next time I get checked. But I can't do that. I'm too, because God forbid, some like 6 months down the road, I'm like, I'm a real trusting guy, and bam, a fucking not life ending, but lifelong fucking herpes or a lifelong aid, and that's not good. So like I said, I've been using condoms for the most part. Prior to this year, I had not, and I'm not bullshitting you at all. I am telling you the God honest truth here. This is not a bit. I mean, the reference is funny, but it is not a bit. Prior to this year, I had not used a condom since literally Barack Obama was in office. That was 2 presidents ago. Just in case you forgot who Barack Obama is, or maybe I got younger listeners. I fucking certainly hope not. But if I do, Barack Obama was the black president, the first black president. Well, the only black president. So anyways, and it checks out. So just listen to what I'm saying. Not since Barack Obama, prior to this year, not since Barack Obama was in office, because of 2 long-term relationships is mostly the reason. And granted, a lot of risk on both ends. That's fine. And if I was one of those people that had kids early, it was my mess, my bed that I made, and I have to sleep in it. I get that, and I'll allude to that in a minute. But I'm also not going to act like a saint, guys. I played with fire every single time between those LTRs, they're calling them, long-term relationships. I played with fucking fire, and I got very fucking lucky. Like I'd still consider playing with fire, getting STD, and getting the treatment, as long as it wasn't lifelong, I'd consider that lucky. I didn't even get a single STD, and maybe Colorado Springs is I don't know. I haven't slept with like 100 women or anything, but it's been a handful. I mean, I'm not going to disclose that information. Doesn't matter. But I got lucky. But this time, being in a bigger city, and being in a bigger city means more increased chance of everything, literally everything, crime or opportunity on a half full kind of spectrum, or getting an STD, especially a lifelong one. So this time I was not going to play with fire. And again, for the most part, I did trust but hold me to it. I said I'm not going to do that again. So just some silly perspective. The last time I wore a condom prior to this year, the number 1 name for babies were Noah and Emma. And honestly, I would not be surprised if I had a Noah or Emma wandering around Colorado Springs as I was fucking raw dogging in between long-term relationships. No, I'm kidding. I'm hoping that, I know that's not the case, but if it were, or if there's just somebody I'm not remembering, I would hope that they'd say, hey, Josh, you got a son. His name's a fucking Adonis or some shit. Another fun fact, number 1 baby names in 2023 are going to be Olivia and Liam. And you fucking want to know the number 2 baby names? Fucking Noah and Emma. Still, I swear to God, look it up. They're at the time. Anyways, it doesn't fucking matter. What I'm saying, guys, as this podcast is going on way too long about nonsense, is condoms are fucking chill. It is different, but it's not that much different. I will save additional information for that for the dating episode. But it's been fun. It literally feels sort of the same, a little different. Like, something's there, but and Daniel Tosh has that joke, but you don't freak out when you're picking up dog shit with a bag. Like, it's there, but you don't freak out. And despite, the trials and tribulations, I like the condoms, especially, in the cesspool dating scene is, or the dating scene can be, and I do want it on record. I feel like I don't have to fucking say this at all, but I do want it on record and say, like, if I had a kid, it would just break my spirit. No. The beauty of if I had a kid, obviously I'd stand up and my dreams fucking go away, and that's fucking life for most people. And in the nicest way. I don't mean like, I'm not like digging anybody that fucking has kids and they're like, oh, they'll never accomplish their fucking biggest dreams. No, just me personally, a lot, like, I know how fucking probable I'm just gonna be fucking some guy. I know that's extremely probable, but and if I have a kid now, then it definitely solidifies it. At least more. Don't give up on your dreams. I feel like I'm coming off as an asshole, but I hope you know what I'm saying. And the beauty of this scenario, this ideal prevention scenario of kids, is it all can change. I just want to succeed selfishly first. Like, even if I get to good comic, unknown but good, a good solid comic, there's a better chance than now. I would be okay if a kid slipped into my life, or if I had to begin that problem. So what I'm saying is this scenario can happen, and I'm okay with that. I just want to succeed selfishly first, and I don't think that's a big ask, honestly. Moving forward, as this podcast drones on, this one's I'm gonna make it probably quick. I'll fly by the next two. Preventing a lack of awareness is like such. It means so fucking much to me. Obviously we all know time you can't get back. That's just a fucking fact. And so I'm not going to tangent on this, but that's kind of what I mean in a sense. And I have a quick, simple fix to prevent like lack of awareness, and it's just be more observant. And I truly do mean it, like, in a sense. Put down a phone more in public, and be kind and less self-involved in interactions. Like, if someone steps on the back of your shoe, for instance, be proactive and not reactive. Like, smile and accept the apology. And if there isn't an apology, I don't know, fucking shoot the fucking assailant in the face and sex traffic their significant other. But yeah, because you can get so quick to be annoyed. Someone steps on the back of the shoe. I certainly don't enjoy that. I feel like I'm at a TED Talk or something. And it wasn't intentional, at least I hope not. Even if it was, it's something you can easily move forward from. So just smile. Fucking shit happens. What if you fucking stepped on somebody's shoe? Like, I guess in a sense also put yourself in other people's shoes, as we should have been doing since we were little. And then also one quick thing, and I'll move on from this. But truly, just be more observant. And take time to just take stock of everything around you, especially when you're out of the house. When you're in the house, that's fucking doom scroll central, Netflix, whatever the fuck. But just that quick thing again, and I'll move on. I hate repeating myself, and when I type messages, I'm very diligent, very, very diligent, of looking up a word in a message that I don't know, instead of like asking the sender, what does that mean? And then now the text thread is becoming they're dumbing shit down for me, and that's fucking insane. Like, we have these devices, you can literally type out the word in the message thread, if you got an iPhone, maybe a fucking Samsung or some shit, and highlight it, and if you hit the arrow, you can look it up, and then it pops up with a definite. You don't even have to go to the internet. It's amazing. And but that's like one thing of like, you're aware, you're taking stock of the situation. Like, you're like, oh well, this is gonna slow down conversation. So like if I could prevent a lack of awareness, that's fucking so ideal to me. And I fucking hate wasting time. I know it happens, and I really do beat myself up about it, but that's life, and it's gonna happen. So that's honestly probably the most. These are not in order or anything. Honestly, I don't think. Yeah, they're not in order, but that's very important to me. So is this next one. I was trying to think maybe this one's more important, but losing my cat in any capacity, that's fucking insane to rack my head around. She like obviously she has a pulse and she will die one day. And that's just same with me, same with you, same with our moms, and my dad's already dead. So that's fine. I get that. That I can rack my brain around. I'd really like to, if I can, for everybody that I just said that will die soon, or cats or pets, I'd really like to stretch that inch to quite the mile. I really would. Losing Ollie, which at the time of the recording, I'm not gonna say but I do talk in I, and I try not to talk in we, but my ex-girlfriend and I got Ollie a year ago today, and it was kind of sad looking up the memories on Snapchat. But losing Ollie was nuts, and before that, this year has really sucked. Lost a cat, worked at Olive Garden part-time, went separate ways in a relationship, and now I'm fucking broke and don't know where I'm gonna live. 27 was rough, and there's still 3 more fucking months to go. But losing Ollie was insane. It was sad, and also before Ollie, Keta had already like changed my life. But I mean, the last few months of my life have been kind of shaky, and I feel depression creeping up at times. But I think I'm handling it a lot better than I would have been drinking. So that's a help. That's very helpful. But my cat has been such a rock. And so is my friend Mac, my best friend Mac. I literally called him, or he called me last night, but we got to talk, and I was like, dude, literally, you were such a fundamental piece to this, and you fucking did it. I didn't think we could get any closer, but we fucking did. And we fucking did it 1,000 miles apart, and I was like, I just want you to know I appreciate you, and it means the fucking world. And I literally said, if it weren't for you or Keta, I would, who knows? I don't think I'd be dead or anything, but I'd fucking would not be, certainly not a fucking joking mood. So yeah, and also I said Mac's my best friend, but Keta's my best friend, I got multiple best friends. And she hears all the jokes before anybody at an open mic, before any friends, before Mac. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So, the thought that she's going to die one day sucks, but anything I can do to prevent cutting that time short is very, very, very fucking important to me. And it's going to be fucking a challenge to find a roommate that's cat friendly and won't fucking leave or set Keta up for, like, leave a fucking open window open or some shit, like without a screen. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like although last night was an interesting test. My roommate, so to speak, got home late. It was a long day probably, and she came in and went to bed. And I'd only been to bed for about an hour because I woke up at 11:35. I heard faint meows. And I was like, I wonder if she got locked in her bedroom. And so I go in there with a flashlight, and I was like, I don't see the fucking cat. And and I also got up because my cat's been very talkative ever since the other cat left the house. And she was the same way when Ollie died. Like, she's very talkative, and sometimes she'll just fucking meow, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. And I keep hearing faint meows, and I'm like, where the fuck is she? And I finally open up the fucking door of the apartment, and she's outside. And it was very scary. But they say if she loves you, she'll come back. And thank God, because there's people on the floor. Like, I would have opened the door immediately because that was my biggest fear. But I was in my boxers, and and there's people out there. So if my fear is that like everything's gonna perfectly align. If she ever bolts out the door, somebody's gonna be coming or on the elevator. She's gonna squeeze in, and then or the stairwell gonna go down, and someone's gonna happen to be opening the locked door, and she's gonna bolt right outside, and it's all gonna be perfect. Like that's my anxiety, and fucking she. But I heard voices, and they really like made sure she stayed on the second floor. So good fucking awareness. I mean, I feel like that's a gimme, but good fucking awareness from neighbors and such. So yeah, 9/11's off the table. I don't care if we prevent that or not. Mass shootings, very, very scary. I don't want that, but that's pretty low on my priority list. But it's preventing kids, lack of awareness, and losing my cat too short and early before she passes at the right time in like 25 years. So thank you guys for letting me fucking ramble, and I really fucking went long with the beginning. Manitou Spring, that was such a long thing just to make a stupid joke about it being a fucking open mic list, and I hope they weren't cut for time. So that was insane. I already feel like I'm fucking offbeat, so I'm sorry. I'm not gonna re-record this, and this episode's been looming forever. So yeah, I have one message to answer, but I'm running so long right now, I'm not going to answer it this episode. So please call or text 719-507-2006. Again, that's area code 719-507-2006. And please call or text anything into the show if you want to say, hey Josh, why haven't you fucking killed yourself? You sound miserable. The episodes you sound like you're broken spirited. And also you let people walk all over you in the revolving doors. You fucking piece of shit. You should have just made the full rotation. You can't get upset about that fucking bitch. And you can't be a fucking villain. You fucking stupid retard. So stuff like that, and I'll answer it on the show. I always tangent longer than I need to, which sucks, but that's fine. I do have a quick gripe of the week, and I will get out of your hair, and I'll address that question. I'm disregarding this week, or the next time. Sorry, I don't know if it's going to be next week. Gripe of the week is fucking, especially with the weather, people are kind of taking their time. I walk really fast. Like, I am zipping and zooming by people, whether it's fucking 2:30 in the morning, which is more scary. I'm a little more cautious, and I always try to actually cross the street and get out of their way. But, like, as far as getting, for instance, getting off a train stop here in Chicago, and you go down the stairs and there's a bunch of people, I'm fucking trying to fly and get ahead of the pack because I know I'm going to walk faster than you. And that's just the way it is. And fucking, I've always walked fast, and now I walk faster in fucking a bigger city. I do walk really fast. I think I can fucking get a record of some sort. But anyways, two things. I hate when somebody, especially with headphones, you're like approaching them. I don't say like on your left. I tried that, and it was just fucking stupid. And I thought that was like the Midwest thing to do, but then you're in Chicago, and Chicago's got a little more fucking edge to it, and people are like city folk, and they don't give a shit. And which counteracts what I'm about to say, is when they got big headphones, or just whether they're small headphones, whatever, noise canceling maybe, and you're coming up, and as you're like right by them, they kind of like look at you or jump, and it's like, well, motherfucker, you got headphones on, like, and you're walking. Thankfully, you're walking on one side where people can't. Like, how do you not fucking prepare yourself for that? Anyways, that's minuscule to what I'm about to say. What I fucking hate is when, people are taking their times, and even whether it's cold or summer, people are walking their dogs. This is what I hate, when the dog fucking is sniffing and maybe getting ready to fucking shit or piss, and or sniffing, or even sniffing after the shit and piss, and the dog walker, I'm approaching the dog and dog owner, and the guy's like, or girl, it happens so much, it really gets under my fucking skin. They're being aware, I guess. in a sense, that I'm approaching, and they're kind of like, okay, keep sniffing. I don't want to disrupt this, but we got someone tailing us. And then they just go right in front of you, and I'm at it's like a fucking car merging, not fast enough, but merging, and I'm already going at fucking consistent speed. So now you're just slowing me down. I gotta chop up my steps and fucking hope to God, usually they are, but hope to God the dog's not gonna jump because I'm walking so fast around you guys. Very few have they see me coming, like, oh my God, we gotta be considerate. And you're doing everything but being considerate. But it's, at the end of the day, it's just fucking walking past somebody and their fucking rabid dog that's gonna fucking bite me. So yes, guys, that is episode 11. Energy was down, that's fine. But I'm glad I got to do this. I've been fucking really thrown around like a rag doll at work. And when I'm not at work, it's just fucking just sad to think about. Like, I feel like I'm selling out in a way, but I know it's temporary. But speaking of the ragdoll thing, I'm like most nervous that they're gonna fucking. It's fine right now because I need money and I'm desperate. But like when I'm back to like picking up the pieces and getting them together, this is gonna be a fucking issue, 100%, and it's not gonna be the ideal place to work. So, and I don't mind it. I like the job. I like the environment. I like the location. Granted, it is far away, but maybe I can change that coming in the next few months. But it's just fucking insane, man. And it's going to be an issue. That's like, I can't get over that. Like, but I'm going to cross that bridge when I get there. I'm not going to create stress that is essentially made up at the moment. So, thank you guys so much. Yeah, we'll do it again. I don't know. I'm going to do that dating episode soon, but I don't know. I kind of want some good stories, and I haven't had the time or motivation to date at the moment and actively go on dates or anything. So, or maybe I can always do another part 2 or some shit. All right. Thank you guys for being so patient. The listeners off the top of my head, Stoney, Sarah, Adriana, Peter shouted me out. If you're an avid listener, let me know. Marcel, how'd you like those current events this week, motherfucker? And then that was brutal. And next week will be brutal too. And they're not even current by the time this comes out. I feel like I'm missing people, and I'm so sorry, but let me know if you listen to it frequently. Oh, Taryn, thank you so much. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Pedro, I keep saying I feel like I'm missing somebody. I feel like I'm missing a lot of people. Thank you so much for being patient. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, guys, and we'll see you again next week. Or the next time. So thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, it's not good when world trade stops. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, but I have a hunch it's not something that's supposed to stop abruptly. Is what I. Anyways, thank you guys.
If you want me to be, then I think you should leave. I think you should